fuck being on some chill shit. We go 0 to 100, nigga, real quick. They be on that rap to pay the bill shit. And I don't feel that shit, not even a little bit. Oh Lord, know yourself, know your worth, nigga. My actions being louder than my words, nigga. How you so high but still so down to earth, nigga. Niggas want...
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another NBA video, and today I'm fucking ecstatic. And now before I go ahead and talk about my upload schedule, there has been some fucking trades going on. So this whole summer has been crazy because Carmelo Anthony went to the Thunder, Paul George to the Thunder, Dwayne Wade to the Cavs, all those moves. And today I'm going to be grading all of those moves. And I just wanted to say I'm so sorry for the lack of uploads, but you know, school's fucking me over. I'm just going to use that excuse. So enjoy the video, leave a like, all that shit, and yeah, that's about it. So I want to talk about the main guy that blew my mind this whole summer, Carmelo Anthony. This man is an amazing player, and he's 33, which is pretty old, but he's been putting up great numbers for the Knicks. He was one of the only decent players on the Knicks, and he's finally out of that garbage organization. I'm sorry, Brett, I had to. Anyways, Melo has reportedly moved to the Thunder to join Russell Westbrook and Paul George, but the Knicks receive Enes Kanter, Doug McDermott, and Chicago's 2018 second round pick. I'm pretty pissed about this deal, but the Knicks got a pretty good deal out of this, let's be fucking honest. They got two pretty young, decent players and a future draft pick. This will help them rebuild and make a better team in the future. So Kanter, for his age, actually averaged really good numbers. He averaged 14 points per game, 6 rebounds, and had a 78% free throw percentage. That's not bad for his size, but I mean, he's only averaging 6 rebounds, which is okay, but he should be getting more, and I'm sure he'll develop and get way better with Kristaps. McDermott also had pretty great stats. He averaged like 9 points a game, 2 rebounds, and had an 84 free throw percentage. These two players alone combined for 25 points per game, which is actually pretty good. They're also both 25. People overlook this because these names aren't hyped up, but the Knicks actually got 2 solid players and a future draft pick by trading a ball-dominant player to the Thunder. But don't overlook the fact that the Thunder have 3 All-Stars on their team who can clearly show that they can ball. So let's move on to what the Thunder acquired. The Thunder acquired a 33-year-old Carmelo Anthony who averaged 22 points per game, 2 assists per game, 5 rebounds, and had an 83 free throw percentage. He's actually really good, but he's ball dominant as hell and his defense is not that great. And that's the problem with the Thunder. They have 3 ball dominant all-stars. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to hate on the Thunder, but they did acquire great players and will at least get the top 3 seed. But that won't change the fact that chemistry comes a long way. Paul George was the leader for the Pacers, Melo was the leader for the Knicks, and the MVP himself, Westbrook, was the leader of the Thunder. Having 3 alpha males on one team isn't the greatest, but I'm sure they'll somehow find a way. So now we have Dwayne Wade, who reunited with LeBron and joined the Cavs. This is a great move for the 11-time All-Star, 3-time NBA champion, 35-year-old player. Wade clearly proves that he still got it, being on a terrible Chicago roster. Yeah, I am a Chicago fan, don't hate. Wade is actually putting up great stats, being 18 points per game, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, and had a 79% free throw accuracy. That's actually pretty amazing, considering he's fucking 35. And he's joining his teammate who he won 2 championships with. And the Cavs are basically a super team, and I think they could contest the Warriors. The Cavs did lose Kyrie, which is a big hit, and yeah, some Cavs fans were like, oh, we lost this trade, but that doesn't matter. They didn't lose this trade. They lost one key player and got Dwayne Wade, Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, and Ante Zizic. The Cavs are just too overpowered, and I think they have what it takes to go to the promised land. They're definitely gonna bring home a ship. If not, then I'm wrong. Now moving right on is the Chris Paul trade and the Rockets. Now before I start hating on the Rockets, they did do great in the postseason and they did put up great numbers, but they gave up so many vital players. The Rockets did acquire Chris Paul, and Paul is a great player and he averaged actually really great stats, being 18 points per game, 9 assists, 5 rebounds, and 89% for free throws. But the Rockets gave up so much just for one player. So they gave up Sam Dekker, Patrick Beverley, Lou Williams, DeAndre Liggins, Darren Hillard, Montrezl Harrell, and Kyle Wiltshire, I think that's how you pronounce it. They also gave up a top 3 protected 2018 first round pick and $661,000 for one fucking player. Are you fucking with me right now? 3 of those players you should know on the top of your head because James Harden literally made them his weapon. But since they're gone, the Rockets kinda lost this trade. The Rockets literally decided, hey, let's not have a future and give up all of our players. But that doesn't really matter because they still have a strong squad. The Rockets still do have James Harden, Nene, Paul, Gordon, Ariza, Anderson, and Clint Capella. But they just gave up so much for one player. One of the biggest issues this whole summer transfer that really pissed me off is how many ball dominant players they've traded for. The Thunder traded for 2 ball dominant players and the Rockets traded for 1 and basically gave up their whole bench. So I don't really fucking know what they're gonna do. They really made some stupid decisions, but possibly smart. It could be smart because they're really great players, but it's dumb because they traded so many players and the players they received are so ball dominant. I'm not really one to judge because I'm a Chicago Bulls fan in their literal ass, but look at the stats and look at all of these players they traded for. And I know some random kid is straight up gonna comment, but these players are so good, you don't know anything. Get the fuck out of my comments, bro, I swear. Now let's move on to the Paul Millsap, Danilo Gallinari, and Jamal Crawford trade. Millsap recently signed with the Denver Nuggets for a reported $90 million contract. Holy fucking shit, my man is getting paid. He did average 18 points per game, 3 assists, 7 rebounds, and 76% for free throws, which isn't bad at all, but Denver lost Gallinari. Gallinari was a key player for the Nuggets, but Jokic took his spotlight. Gallinari averaged 18 points per game, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, and 90% for free throw accuracy. Those are very close stats, but very different stats. Both players have their strengths and have their weaknesses. The Nuggets actually have a pretty good team. They have Nikola Jokic, Paul Millsap, Emmanuel Mudiay, Jamal Murray, Wilson Chandler, and Mason Plumlee. That's actually a pretty good roster, but the Clippers, who now acquired Gallinari, have Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Austin Rivers, Bryce Johnson, Danilo Gallinari, Patrick Beverley, Sam Decker, and Lou Williams. I've actually never looked up the Clippers roster, but this is a very great team, and I think they could actually make a top 6 seed. They have great players, and they only lost Jamal Crawford, Chris Paul, and JJ Redick. And finally, we're going to end off with the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves probably made the biggest trades in the NBA this season. So the Timberwolves traded Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, a number 7 overall pick for Jimmy Butler, and the 16th overall pick. In my opinion, I think this is a win for the Timberwolves, but kind of a loss for them as well, and possibly a win for Chicago. People underrate the hell out of LaVine. He's actually a great 3-point shooter, he can easily run to the rim, and he's actually a pretty good passer. He averaged 18 points per game, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, and had an 83% free throw percentage. Not gonna lie, that's pretty good. Chris Dunn didn't really average good stats, but because he had no playtime. He averaged 3 points per game, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, and had a 61% free throw percentage. Yeah, people call this man a bust, but like I said, he only played 17 minutes per game and has insane passing and defensive skills. Chicago also got Lauri Markkanen, who is a threat beyond the arc, and he's also a good big man. This guy's actually pretty significant and highly underrated in the draft class. He averaged 14 points per game, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 block per game in the Summer League. But those aren't that great stats because he had 29% for field goals. Those are actually pretty bad stats considering he's 29% for field goals, but that's besides the point. Note that LaVine is 22 years old, Dunn is 21 years old, and Markkanen is 20 years old. The Bulls have done a great job rebuilding and they got great players out of it, but let's see what the Timberwolves got in store. The Timberwolves in return got Jimmy Butler, a player who literally averaged 23 points per game, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, and 6 assists per game, and had an 86% for free throw percentage. He's a great caliber player, and the Timberwolves really picked up a great player who's gonna tear it up for him. The Timberwolves also got Jamal Crawford and Taj Gibson, who are pretty decent, but they're old. They're still reliable bench players though. To sum up, the Timberwolves obviously won this trade if you're looking for a team to contest the Warriors, but the Bulls definitely won if you want a rebuilding team. To sum up, the biggest offseason move in my opinion had to be Paul George to the Thunder. Like I said in my last offseason video, Paul George was traded for a used condom and a bag of pretzels. All I'm saying is Sam Presti's the GOAT, and the Thunder won this offseason. And if you did like the video, please support it by hitting that like button and sharing with your friends. All that good shit. Thank you for watching. Peace out.